So this is going to be something a little different. A little something out of the ordinary from what I have been doing for a while. But if you've been with this channel for long enough, it's something that I used to do with a lot of RPG Maker projects. This, I got an email yesterday from Argent Games. They wanted to share a demo for a game that they have on Kickstarter. Red Embrace Hollywood. Heavily inspired by Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, a dark gothic atmosphere. Sign me up. Let's give this a go. Welcome to Red Embrace Hollywood. I have no extras currently. Let's just dive right back in. Okay. So let's design us a character here. So, limited. Do I want a square chin or a round chin? I don't know. I'd say my chin's more flat than round. Let's make a stylized me. Let's make a stylized, better-looking me. Oh. I absolutely have blue hair. More, blue-brown? Okay. I mean, this would probably be the closest to me, but I'm more of a brownish. I like this. I like this look. So I'm just going to, hell yeah. Everyone comes to Hollywood for a reason. Saints, sinners, artists, anti-artists, and all of the beautiful people in America. On September 24th, 1996, I became one of those people. Why did I go to Hollywood? Oh? To become a legend? To charm my way into Hollywood's heart? To find out every dark, beautiful secret? I want to know all the secrets. An irresistible urge pulled me here. I knew I belonged in Hollywood, among the debauchery, the filth, and the perfumed skeletons inside the closet. I wanted to learn more about the darkest parts of human nature, because that was the only way to learn more about myself. Of course, that was just the reason why. The how, that was something different. I came to Hollywood as... well, if I'm playing this as close to me as possible, well, if I'm honestly playing this as close to myself as possible, I am none of these things, but if I had to pick one, yeah, truth would be nice. I felt compelled to share my ideas, expose secrets, and ask questions about the world. Being a skeptic wasn't just fun, it was necessary. Someone had to blow the whistle. For 2 weeks I schmoozed, explored, and prowled about the Sunset Strip, slowly working my way into inner circles. Each night I felt my dreams getting closer, more real. The glittering celebrity world was opening its doors to me, beckoning me inside. Until 2 weeks later, on October the 8th, it happened. Ooh. These backgrounds are lovely. I've gone to a club, but not just any club. One that hosted the darker side of LA nightlife. Yeah, any sort of club with cages hanging from the ceiling like that is pretty much the darker side of the nightlife. I wasn't disappointed. Eerily beautiful people everywhere, swathed in black, slow, hypnotic music, the rattling of dancers in cages. Oh, that kind of club. I say that kind of club, never having actually been to a club myself. Oh wow, something felt different about this place. It wasn't just another club. It felt more like another world. Oppressive, seductive, terrifying. To calm my nerves, I approached the bar to order my favorite drink. Something... bitter, complex, and dark. Sweet, light, and rich. Ooh. Oh, that's nice. It was delicious, but I didn't get more than a few seconds to enjoy the taste. When I looked up, someone down the bar was staring at me intently. A tall, dark-haired man dressed all black, his sharp cheekbones matched by an even sharper stare. He stalked closer, only stopping when our chests nearly touched each other. Too close. His arm curled around my waist with an obscene sort of confidence. As I stared down my own reflection in his dilated pupils, I realized I couldn't move. I was completely hypnotized by... Whoa! What he whispered in my ear. The beastly his terrifying beauty. Well, I mean... yes. But what did you whisper in my ear? He leaned in, lips coldly brushing my skin, and said, I want to show you something. From that moment, whatever it was, I knew I had to see it. We left the bar and walked hand in hand toward the filthy hallway with its filthy bathrooms. Oh my. Can I just appreciate the lighting of these backgrounds? It just really sets the mood that we're trying to go for here. Dark. Very, very, wild moans and the wheezing of people who'd sniffed too many drugs leaked from under the doors, along with weak fluorescent light. I didn't have much time to appreciate the cinematic moment. Whoa! The man grabbed my hair and pushed me against the wall, which was full of posters for bands that no one cared about. I'm going to change your life forever, but you'll never learn my name, he whispered. How does that make you feel? Oh. Well, I came here to change. Yes, of course. Everyone comes to Hollywood to change. As those low words rumbled in his throat, he smiled. And two long, cruel fangs glimmered between his lips. Fangs? No, they couldn't be real. And yet, for some horrible reason, I knew they were. In that moment, I suddenly felt... Well... I think, logically, even if in the moment, that's kind of scary. Instincts screamed at me, alarms ringing in my ears. How had he lured me in? Why couldn't I escape? I thrashed at his arms, opening my mouth to scream. Oh. Oh. Yep, there I am. until I felt the bite. An agonizing pain ripped through me, searing into my neck, spreading through my whole body. I couldn't make a sound. I couldn't do anything except stand still, just like a deer in headlights. Oh, but slowly, the pain started to melt away. Warm, euphoric tingles bubbled through my neck, down my spine. I let out a heated moan before I could stop it. The sound just blended into the murky background of music and laughter. It was better than anything. Better than sex, better than drugs, better than cash or love or fame. And yet it felt like all those things rolled up into one sensation. His icy hands and icy lips pulled me down into this incredible pleasure until my body couldn't take it anymore. The blood draining from my veins, my breathing slowing down, my heart finally stopping. I realized what was happening, but I was too drowned in pure, mindless bliss to even care. I was dying. Was I dead? Drink. Something pressed against my lips. Metallic liquid dripped down my throat, sending a jolt through my body. His blood? I should have been dead, but I wasn't. Instead, I was half awake, half dreaming. In the midst of that surreal moment, I felt strangely enlightened. For an instant, everything seemed to make sense, and yet nothing did. It was like I'd gotten a glimpse of divinity, but divinity was just a jumble of meaningless code. Before I could process that strange feeling, the club suddenly vanished, and everything went dark. Did we pass out? Oh! Is it... Oh! Oh, I like this guy already. That is really neat how that's customized right there. The bite has been customized. Alright. The next thing I knew, I was on the sidewalk outside the club. Had I blacked out? What the hell was happening? I couldn't remember walking here, or even drinking enough to pass out. That's a really odd. But I did remember that man, that strange man. What he said to me. The bite. The bite? Did that mean... No. What a stupid thing to think. That must have been just a weird hallucination, brought on by the flashing lights and pounding music. Served me right for going to such a seedy club, honestly. Does fake love make you less lonely? I struggled through the streets, fighting the urge to stop and vomit. I could feel my skin growing cold. My mouth was dry, and I didn't need to breathe. Everything around me looked different. Colors brighter, faces uglier, an unnerving flicker in my peripheral vision that gave me the sense I was being watched. My mind felt like it was being invaded, shuffled around, unlocked. Something was rising to the surface. No, none of this was possible. There had to be some other explanation. Vampires didn't exist. But if they didn't exist, then what What was I becoming? By the time I rounded the corner to an alleyway, I was ready to slump down and curl up until I figured out what the hell was going on. But as soon as the alley came into view... Oh. I saw someone standing there watching me. Not just watching. It was like he was waiting for me. Oh. I need to shake my initial first impression of this. Of him, which is Tommy Wiseau. I need to shake that. I need to shake that. He took a deep breath, tilting his head back. You smell fresh. God, it's a sinister. That is a sinister smile. I can almost hear water dripping back into the baptismal font. The man's deep voice was accented with an aristocratic southern drawl. Each word slow and emphatic. His manner of speech reminded me of a preacher, melodic and a little theatrical. But almost instantly I sensed that something about him was different, wrong somehow. Oh, what? This is smooth. I like that. Different how? Are you like me? Dead, you mean? Yes, brother, I am dead. In any other sense, though, I'd be mighty doubtful. A knowing smile stretched over his lips, and he adjusted his sunglasses smugly. I mean, I can try. I don't know how well I can do a southern drawl, but... Now, as for introductions... I am the Grand Master who plays blindfolded. That cut on your hand you don't remember getting. That scratched out face on the yearbook photo. They call me Marcus, and I'm happy to join you for the best and worst night of your existence. After tipping an imaginary hat to me, he flashed a wide grin, and I glimpsed two white fangs shimmering in the light. No need to mention your own name, none, so don't worry. I know exactly who you are. And now you're one of us. A night stalker. A bloodsucker. An overblown myth hiding a horrible monster. You're a vampire, brother. Welcome to the Valley of Death. That's good, good. But have a care not to laugh yourself to tears. My brain didn't feel like it could process what Marcus was saying. Everything made sense, but at the same time, it all just seemed too insane to be real. Ooh, fade out? Oh, hey. Oh. As if you could sense my confusion, Marcus let out a patient sigh. Oh. Sudden interface change. Considering you still look bemused, let me try to put the facts of the situation in simpler terms. You just turned into a different kind of parasite, brother. An honest one. Money, sex, favors, you won't have to suck those out of human folk anymore. They'll simply fall into your lap. Just blood is all you need now. Doesn't that make you feel relieved? Marcus suddenly paused, taking a deep, long sniff of the air. A few moments later, he leaned in a little closer, this time sniffing close to my neck. Uh-oh. Eh? Eh? What are you doing? Ah. You and I were not that different after all. You're a little sick, as am I. That's what they tell us, anyway. Golgotha. That's the name of our house. but don't trouble yourself to remember it. Self-awareness, I find, is prized too highly. He winked at me, grinning like we'd shared some priceless inside joke. Except I didn't get the punchline. Oh, Where have we heard that before? What do you mean, Golgotha? Indeed, you'll learn plenty about them soon enough. Experience is the father of learning and all that. For now, you should at least know this. You were bitten by a Golgotha vampire, which means your blood has taken on those qualities, and you're part of the house. Lovely. You have my sincere apologies. His lips curled into a slow, insidious smirk that suggested his apologies were anything but sincere. Was anything he said to me sincere, though? Did he actually know what was happening to me, or was he just some crazy druggie on the street? With my mind reeling like this, I couldn't decide which situation was more plausible. Alright, I think that's enough. Before you get into any trouble, there is someone you need to meet. Come now, follow your shepherd back to the pen. Another one of Lucifer's good little lambs. Well, I guess... okay. Alright, we'll go with you. Docile little thing. Before I had a chance to offer a reply... Oh. Marcus grabbed my shoulders, pulling me forcefully toward the street. Okay, where are you taking me? My cry was met only with silence, which just worried me more. When we reached the street a few moments later, I noticed a black sedan parked in front of us. It hadn't been there when I walked by earlier. I have no clue what choices influence anything really, but we're just gonna have a go at this and see what happens. Oh, don't worry, my dear. We wouldn't dream of making you ride in anything but luxury. His voice drawled wickedly in my ears, soft and sadistic. Who is we? Oh, you'll see soon enough. The fellows of House Golgotha. Without further ceremony, Marcus shoved me inside the sedan, squeezing in behind me. The second he closed the door, the shadowy driver started up the car, and we spread off down the road at an alarmingly fast pace. This is unsafe driving, Marcus. I was too disoriented to try and figure out our destination from the landmarks passing by. But I had the strange feeling I was descending into the underworld, like Orpheus. If there are any questions burdening your mind, now might be the time to ask. Oh, Marcus murmured to me from the other seat, his eyes glowing faintly behind their dark lenses. I can't promise you much, let alone the answers, but I figure you deserve some semblance of a welcome. Let it never be said that I am not a gentleman. So, why was I turned into a vampire? You'll have to ask my employer that, I'm afraid. I was probably told the details, but everything in my head sometimes blurs together into one big screaming mass. Were you waiting for me back there? I was indeed. Consider me the bouncer to the eternal party in hell. Why does the world seem so different now? Because you got Golgotha blood, my dearest brother, and it lets you see things for how they truly are. I'm getting better at this. Unfortunately for us, the way they truly are is far, far worse. As you say, brother. We rode for a short while longer. In the silence that followed, my mind felt blank. I was slowly coming to terms with what happened, even though the rational part of me refused to accept it. Wherever Marcus was taking me, I could only hope that I had finally learned the truth behind everything, and maybe get a chance to reverse all of this. That is not so easily reversed, my brother. It wasn't long before we arrived at a huge, towering building, marked with a giant sign that read, Hollywood Heights Hotel. Marcus pulled me out of the car and into the hotel's luxurious lobby, his boots clacking on the polished marble floors. Came to a stop in front of a private room, but instead of knocking, Marcus simply barged right in. Good evening, Saurisi. I've brought on our little Golgotha novitiate. Please give him your warmest welcome. Oh, hello. Ah, welcome back, Marcus. An elegant woman stood up from her chair to greet us, her eyes flickering from Marcus to me. I've been expecting you. Huh? Marcus, there's been a mistake. This individual was not supposed to be bitten. She spoke in the very slow, dangerous fashion of someone barely controlling their rage. At least that rage seemed to be directed at Marcus, not me. Is that so? Marcus shrugged, looking about as bothered as if he'd forgotten to get milk from the grocery store. Very funny, Mark. But our brother here was the only pretty young dead thing to walk out of the Abashur. Your lucky candidate must have missed their appointment. Missed their... The woman steepled her fingers to her upper lip, and from the murderous way she stared at the ground, it was a wonder she didn't burn a hole through it. Just one headache after another. If only I could hire someone competent for a change. Hello. Finally, with a deep sigh, she turned her focus back to me. I had the distinct feeling her calculating eyes were scrutinizing me, doing some kind of rapid cost-benefit analysis. Well, let me start by saying, my name is Saurisi Locke. I apologize for all this happening to you. As you might have guessed, another mortal was supposed to receive the bite tonight, not you. It seems there was a misunderstanding. That's awkward. You know, I'm not still convinced this is... yes, well, it is quite real, much to your chagrin, I'm sure. And much to your annoyance. A rogue vampire apparently decided to play a cruel little joke on you, one with decidedly unfunny results. I'm rather short on time here, so I won't mince words. It'll bend over your loss of humanity for the next century, or you can accept the hand you've been dealt and move on. That sounds so easy. That sounds so simple, and yet not. Saurisi breezed along without trying to hide her impatience or annoyance, like I was inconveniencing her somehow. I couldn't believe it. She was gonna chalk this up to a misunderstanding? And not only that, but a misunderstanding. Okay, you're dead now. Go have fun. Goodbye. You were an accident, but I'm offering you a purpose. As cruel as it may sound, this turn of fate isn't necessarily a bad one for you. It's a chance for all you could have ever wanted in life, and maybe even more, if you're strong enough to survive. Therefore, my proposal is a straightforward one. Will you join the Los Angeles Coven of Vampires? My coven. Well... Oh, here's the menu. I can save here. I don't have much of a choice, do I? Not particularly, no. I'm pleased that you realize this at the very least, so we can proceed past formalities. The briefest of smiles flashed over her lips, like a subliminal message flickering on a TV screen. Very well. Let me establish the main 3 rules of our coven. 1. When you feed, do not kill. Not innocents, at least. Aggressive fools you can deal with as you see fit. 2. Never reveal your true nature to a mortal. By doing so, you endanger not only yourself, but our entire kind. As a result, you'll be disposed of. And finally, do not turn any mortal into a vampire without my permission. My explicit permission. mission. It's necessary to keep our population to a minimum, as otherwise, this area could quickly become overcrowded. Do you understand all of this? Interesting options. I mean, I don't understand anything, but continue. I'll assume that was a joke, for both of our sakes. Fair enough. The quiet sniff, Cerise motioned toward the chair beside Marcus, who had languidly stretched it into a seat while we were talking. As I settled down in the offered chair, Marcus flashed me a sidelong smirk. It seemed he found all of this particularly amusing. She does not, however. Cerise snapped her fingers to get my attention. My state of shock wasn't high on her list of priorities, apparently. Now, you arrived during a most difficult time. It just so happens that we're in the middle of a war. A bloody, messy war waged in the dark, entirely unbeknownst to mortals. As she began her brisk business agenda, Cerise elegantly lowered herself onto the couch opposite to me. The three houses, the ones all vampires belong to, Iskari, Mavar, and Golgotha, are fighting over the rule of Los Angeles. To put it crudely, Iskari are mostly diplomats, Mavar are fighters, and Golgotha are everything else. Well, that seems like a bit of a mismatch. Ah, if only everything were that simple. My Marcus voice keeps wandering. Crossing her legs, Cerise let out a faint sigh, one hand flitting to push up her glasses. The current ruling house is Iskari, my house. Oh. I've ruled Los Angeles for the past 10 years. Recently, the other houses have gotten a little, how shall I put it, rowdy. We need to negotiate some sort of three-way peace to restore order, but that's easier said than done. There are simply too many secret deals, betrayals, and assassinations going on behind the scenes. However, you are new enough to be politically naive and unbiased. She paused, that critical light glinting in her eyes again. Unlike most of the other vampires in Los Angeles, you have neither an existing reputation nor alliances, and thus you may be the key to our reconciliation. Paragon, neutral, renegade. I'm listening. The first task I intend to give you is a simple one, but it will serve as an accurate measure of your potential. There's a meeting going on tomorrow night between Randall, the powerful leader of the Mavar rebels, and some Golgotha emissaries. Well, I am Golgotha. I want you to sneak into that meeting and disrupt it. Oh, that sounds like a horrible idea. But you give me details. That would be the easy part. You should be more worried about getting past the guard. Whatever tools you have at your disposal, I suggest you use them. Quick thinking and improvisation are the keys to seeing another sunset. Tomorrow night, Marcus will call you in an hour before the meeting. He should have all the details you'll need. Make sure that no treaty is made between the Mavar and Golgotha. It's a first step towards forcing Randall onto our side. He's too valuable as a potential ally. Consider this your trial, as an opportunity to transcend your circumstances, to prove that fate chose you for a reason. With an air of finality, Cerise rose and stepped briskly past me, striding over to the door. Marcus shuffled aside, eyeing her with an arched eyebrow. You're Golgotha. I've already arranged for a room for you here at the Hollywood Heights Hotel. It's managed by some of our people, so you'll be perfectly safe. The next time we speak, I'll be looking forward to the tale of your success. The door slammed shut behind her, and the swift clacking of high heels slowly faded into the distance. I turned to Marcus, unsure how exactly to process everything Cerise had just told me. Well, 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 it seems the stars smile on you, brother. He let out a delighted chuckle, winking at me behind those dark lenses. Cerise doesn't like to make mistakes. You must have caught her in a good mood tonight. Tell me, what do you think of her, the Red Queen? I do kind of like her. She didn't murder us immediately. So that's a good thing. But I want to see this. I see you're already getting an eye for how things work. When you finally meet the king, I think it'll all fall into place. Marcus paused, glancing down to an old-fashioned pocket watch in his palm. The fact that he owned one didn't surprise me in the least, somehow. I'll be calling your room around midnight tomorrow. I'd be ready if I were you. Now it's about time for me to head out, but before I go, I have one last thing to say to you, and I don't intend to say it twice. His expression suddenly grew dark. He stared at me intently, as if to confirm I was listening. Do not trust anyone. Do not. Especially not the ones who ask you to trust them. You hear me, brother? Well, you mean I can't trust you either? And why would I be any different? Just because you might like my face or the way I've been treating you doesn't mean I'm part of your destiny. Though if I am, then you have my sincere condolences. Snickering softly, he shoved a hand into his pocket, rummaging around for something. Where is it? Damn. Ah, here. If you ever want to muse on the apocalypse or take turns laughing at the stars, here's where you'll find me. I reached for my hand, pressing a small object onto my palm. My eyes flicked down to see a business card colored a bright red and emblazoned with bold black letters. Blood and Roses. A dark paradise for adult movies, magazines, and toys. Oh. Was I misinterpreting this card, or did Marcus work at a sex shop? By the time I glanced up again, he was already gone. I hadn't even heard the door open or shut. How the hell had he left the room so suddenly? Maybe it was for the best if I didn't know. Maybe he's still here. Leaving the empty room behind, I awkwardly stepped up to the front desk, asking about Cerise's reservation. A stoic, pale-faced clerk handed me a key without question. Room 914. Numbly, I made my way to the elevator and up to my floor, where a posh corridor opened up to greet me. The room numbers felt like they passed by in a blurry marquee. 908, 910, 912, 914. My new home. That's a nice view. Sparkling clean, warmly lit, beautifully decorated. It was the kind of glamorous room I'd always dreamed of staying in. The kind of room where you'd see stars partying, orgies and overdoses, ringing up their agents, shutting the curtains to hide from camera flashes, straight out of a magazine. Now, it was my coffin. Up close, I realized the room was just as dead as me. The cameras were the only thing that had made it seem alive. Somehow the thought was the most awful one I'd had that night. Horses. As I stared at one of the stock paintings on the wall, trying to figure out what emotions I was feeling, something stirred in my gut. A dull, aching hunger. It didn't feel like the hunger pains I'd felt before. It was in my mind as much as my body, like an addict who needed their fix. Was it a hunger for that? Much as I didn't want to even think of it as a possibility, the idea uncomfortably wormed into my head. I feel like ignoring it is a bad thing. Let's go look in the fridge. Maybe regular food would tide me over, or just some water. I knew that was bullshit, but I pretended not to. I slunk over to the mini-fridge, unsure of what I hoped to find. Pulling the tiny door open, I bent down to peer inside. But instead of discovering any water, food, or even ice, I saw something completely different. 3 packs of blood, neatly sealed in translucent bags like morbid juice boxes. Aha! I snatched one up without thinking. The sketchy bag looked better than 1,000 glistening T-bone steaks. Moving on impulse, I sank my fangs into the plastic, downing the cold liquid in giant gulps. The second it slid down my throat, I instantly felt revitalized. Pain vanished. My body hummed with, well, not life, but something close to it. To my shock, I wasn't even disgusted by what I was doing. It just seemed natural, and the taste was addictive. But in the back of my mind, I knew that I had lost some part of myself at that moment, forever. So I drank until the bag was empty, and it was over. Oh, knock knock. A knock at the door interrupted my dinner. Hello? I threw the empty bag back into the fridge, quickly wiped the blood off my lip, wiped off my bloody lips, and reached for the door. There was no way I could handle Cerisa or Marcus again right now, so I silently prayed for it to be anyone else but them. Oh. Hey there. Good evening. A gentle, melodic voice purred out from the man before me. I'd never seen his face before, but his 2 pale skin and flashing fangs immediately gave away what he was. You're Don, aren't you? Please, tell me I'm right. I don't want you to be anyone else. I don't remember calling room service for dessert. I have to. Surprises are so much sweeter. I hope you'll return the favor sometime. I wanted to talk to you, just for a little while. Promise I won't steal too much of your time. Sure, come in. Thing? Was that a bad thing? That might have been a bad thing. Oh, he slipped inside the room, glancing around curiously for a few moments. A faint floral scent drifted around him, just barely strong enough to be noticed. I didn't mean to catch you off guard, but I stopped by on, well, impulse. And really, I'm so happy that I did. Averting his gaze for a moment, he toyed with the fringe of his scarf, letting out a soft exhale. I'm sorry. My name is Heath. Won't you say it for me? I'd like to hear it from your lips. Again, perfectly arranged. Paragon, neutral, renegade. Heath, it suits you. Does it? I picked it because it sounded warm, like the sun we can't see any longer. One of the things I miss the most. But enough about me. More importantly, I passed Cerisa on my way in, and she told me about what happened to you. It's awful. I'd say I'm sorry, but apologies won't get your life back. So I wanted to offer you a sympathetic ear, and a shoulder to cry on, if you needed it. He spoke quietly, gravely, as if he were attending a funeral for the Don who died back in that club. It wasn't so long ago I went through the same thing you did. It's cold, it's cruel, and it's impossible to believe at first. But when it hits you, the loneliness is overwhelming. Well, what's done is done. I just wish I could go back. Many of us do. The sunrise, food and drink, people you love, a racing heartbeat, the warmth of someone close. Heath closed his eyes tightly, biting his bottom lip. all of it gone before you can even kiss it goodbye. And from there, it's too easy to just fade away to oblivion. He let out a quiet sigh, running a hand through his feathery hair. It's a little surprising how much my situation seemed to upset him, considering the apathy everyone else had shown so far. Sarise mentioned your house, too. Houses, well, they're supposed to be the core of who we are in this hidden world. What defines us, what sets us apart. Our gazes met for a few moments in silence. He kept his head slightly lowered, maybe so that his eyes could glitter up at me from behind their thick lashes. I've always found Golgotha like you to be enthralling, beautiful, but in a deadly way. You're different from Marcus, still warm and wondrous, not cynical and cold. There's a lovely mysticism in your gaze, like silk draped over dark secrets. It's more forgotten when Polly. It's more. Are you admitting it? Lurid whispers buried within a tortured mind. Won't you tell me what it's like? They say the world starts to grow more and more unraveled for Golgotha, starting from the moment they've turned. Oh my. This is escalating quickly. I'll trade a taste of my darkness for a taste of yours. Oh, then it's a date. I'm already dreaming of our next meeting. Heath watched me intently for a few moments, heavy-lidded eyes sparkling, before tearing his gaze over to the window. Glanced past him at the glittering cityscape, only to meet his stare again at the glass's reflection. Its expression had quickly sobered. The way his mood seemed to shift so quickly caught me off guard. It was like they flicked on and off at a whim. You know, a few years ago you would have had a group of Golgotha to welcome you into the unlife. But now, well, with the war going on, everyone seems more interested in protecting themselves than helping each other, even their own house members. This is an interesting mix of, it feels like we have a lot of individual, I say a little bit of individual interaction between houses really casually. But we don't really have that big a picture of the war going on. I can't stand it. Whoa. Justified war. Whoa. It's really interesting that Marcus, a Golgotha, seems to be directly working for Sarise, head of a completely different house. The diplomats. Sarise is the head of the diplomats. So of course Sarise would be trying to put together a conglomerate of all three houses to try and negotiate peace. Try and sue for peace between the, I already saved here. Between the three houses. Wasn't there a way to make peace? Heath shook his head, tracing his thumb along the cross at his neck. No, not Mother Mavar and Golgotha refused to enter a treaty with us. The Iskari, that is. Oh, you're Iskari too. Until then, we're trapped in this endless cycle of bloodshed. I don't know who's more of a danger to us, the hunters or ourselves. Uh-oh. Vampire hunters. Two very significant questions here. I do want to know why they can't reach an agreement, because everyone wants to be on top. Everyone thinks their leadership would be best. If you thought human government was difficult, imagine keeping 100 aggressive, power-hunting, hungry immortals in line, like herding lions. Heath bit his lip, a troubled frown flitting across across his face for a few moments. But listen to me, Don, please. More than anything else, I want you to remember, if you don't want to be alone, you don't have to be. I run a bar downtown. Nothing much, just a little nook for stars, and a sanctuary for people like us. It's called Saturnalia. Why don't you come by sometime? I don't mean to sound too forward, but... The warm lamplight reflected in his eyes as they flicked up toward mine. In the brief silence that followed, I could only hear the distant sound of passing sirens far, far below my room's window. There's something different about you. Something more than a little captivating. I'd like to learn more, if you let me. Maybe I'll even make a surprise visit. He immediately lit up at that, like I just offered him his favorite thing in the world. We did offer him his favorite thing in the world. You know just what to say to make me impatient. I'm going to go crazy waiting for you, so don't be too cruel, please. Until then, if you ever need me, you know where I am. The gentle bow of his head, he gave me one last, long look. The sun's going up soon. It means it's time for me to tear myself away. Now remember to say a prayer for your success tomorrow. Though honestly, I doubt you'll really need it. Sweet dreams, Dawn. Oh! No. We're gonna be very bitter, but I hope you show up in them. With that, Heath quietly made his way to the exit, slipping outside. With the door clicked shut behind him, I was alone again, in golden, solitary confinement. Like Heath said, the sun would rise soon, meaning I'd need to tightly shut the curtains and curl up until tomorrow night. In a way, I didn't want to. Shutting the curtains would mean surrendering to the reality that this all wasn't some fucked up nightmare. I wasn't sure how much longer I could deny that reality. Well, with the coming sunrise safely hidden away, I turned off the bedroom lights. I stared at the LED glow of the alarm clock, letting my transformed body sink towards something resembling sleep. One last thought drifted through my head. All of these are valid moods right now. But again, if I'm truly playing this as me, although I will admit, right now I am a little bit. But my overall average mood over the past few weeks, the sense of isolation that Heath mentioned was creeping up on me. Was I really cut off from my family and friends forever? I could only cling to the hope that just maybe I'd wake up tomorrow in my own bed and forget that any of this had ever happened. With that feeling still settled in my chest, I closed my eyes. Finally, a comforting nothingness pulled me down into the dark, away from the coming day. Ring ring! 12:01. I've been waiting for 3 hours for this call, anxiously pacing in my room. Picked up the phone before the third ring, readying myself for Argus's poetic drawl. Hello to our valued Hollywood Heights customer. But instead a boisterous, theatrical voice boomed at me through the receiver. Are you paying too much for your car insurance? We're offering a very special deal just for Hollywood Heights Platinum Rewards members. Yes! Give me the deal! Oh God, we could hang up on him. Oh God, I want to hang up on him. Click. I slammed the phone back down on its base, unamused. A few seconds later. Ominous music. Silently pick up the phone. I see my efforts to put your nerves at ease are unappreciated, brother, and I might be disappointed. Okay, we'll play along with you, Marcus. Just because you... Yes, give me the deal! That's just what I love, an excited customer. Did you know that we also offer great deals on life insurance? You never know when tragedy will strike. Oh no, what am I already dead? That is a problem. Well, never fear. Hollywood Heights Insurance will find a plan that's right for you. Accidents happen. That's our motto. Accidents are a tender subject for me. That's true. The call suddenly went silent. I heard nothing, not even elevator music, until... Hello, brother. How are you feeling tonight? Ready for the start of your Herculean trials, I hope. Oh, but I wanted the car insurance. No, I assure you, it's much cheaper traveling to hell in a handbasket. As though Chuckle rasped at me through the line. Down to our business for tonight, however. The place you're to go to, you're to go is July Company Parking, an abandoned garage downtown. That's where the parties of our doomed rendezvous are meeting. You'll need to find Randall and get him to call off negotiations. Do you follow me thus far, brother? Yeah, continue. Now listen carefully, because here comes the best part. There's a knife that Randall loves very, very much. Why, he loves that blade as much as Lot's daughters love their daddy. If he thinks someone stole it, we'll drive him completely wild. Put him in a very unprofessional mood. I heard Marcus inhaling sharply on the other end of the line, like someone preparing to gleefully deliver news. And that knife just so happens to be waiting for you at the hotel's front desk. You take that knife, show it to Randall, pretend you took it off a Golgotha who wanted to drive a hard bargain with it. That's sure to ruin some negotiations. Is Randall the third guy? I rather doubt Randall would mistake you for one of his unwashed lackeys. But Sarisi says he'll be seeing too much red to care. Sketchier than gas station sushi. And gas station sushi is pretty sketchy. Well, that would ruin some negotiations. I have a really bad feeling about this. Good. If you didn't, I'd be more worried for you. Now once you've finished up, just come back to the hotel bearing all the good tidings. I have faith in you, Don. And again, I also had faith in Jack Kennedy. So maybe don't call yourself the Messiah just yet. It was sink or swim, Jack Kennedy. I didn't have the first idea of what to expect, and that terrified me, but if I'd survived so far in Hollywood among the living, then I'd find a way to do it among the dead. After picking up the knife from the front desk, I left the hotel and skulked out onto the street. July Company Parking. I vaguely remember seeing that sign before, at least, so I had some idea of where to go. Stealing my nerves, I set out in the garage direction, trying to avoid eye contact with any late-night passerby. As I walked, I started to feel the same aching hunger I'd felt last night. Dang it, I forgot to bring my juice box with me. Just a dull pain at first, but it quickly grew stronger, gnawing at me from the inside. I couldn't focus on anything else. Before I entered the parking garage, I'd have to find blood to sate myself, or else the pressure would snap me. Damn it, that's probably why the fridge had 3 blood packs, not just 1. Just then my heightened senses picked up a scent. Down the alley. The scent of a mortal. Alone. There was no one else nearby, which meant I could feed on them if I wanted to. Pain was getting worse. My body ached, my head spun, and the whole world pulsed in front of me. This seems like it could go badly. Either of these choices could go wrong down the line. It was no use. I needed to feed. I needed blood, warm blood. These were my new instincts. Everything had changed, and denying that would be a losing battle. I slipped into the alley, pulled like a magnet toward that wonderful scent. It didn't take long before I caught sight of the source. Oh, hello, friend. The young man, probably in his late teens, let out a gasp when I stalked up to him. been taking a piss behind the dumpster, but quickly zipped himself up and cleared his throat. Hello? Can I help you with something? I'm just on my way home from work. His voice trembled. It was the first time someone had ever been afraid of me. The only thing I could concentrate on was the smell of his blood. Suddenly the most delicious smell in the world. Yes, I need you. Need me? For what? Well, I took a step toward him slowly. He stayed in place, but I could see his whole body tensing up, getting ready to turn and bolt. Another step, and another, until he was only a foot or two away. You can't run away, because you don't want to. Oh, what do you... His eyes shot wide. I was right, of course. Oh, Well, my arms coiled around him, and I leaned in to drag my tongue along his slender throat. Starving. I was starving. You're dreaming. Don't worry. With a shuddering breath, he closed his eyes, weakly clutching my shirt. My lips met the side of his neck. Fangs extending, I pressed them to his flesh. Oh. And sunk them in. Hot blood flooded onto my tongue, down my throat, sending sparks of life into my dead body. It was pure bliss. Not like food, not even like a buzz. It was a high, delicious shock that ran through me and lifted me up. The blood pack from last night couldn't even compare. It was like tasting ambrosia after licking dirt off the ground. It wasn't just the taste that made the moment euphoric. It was the experience, the feeling of holding this mortal who squirmed in with pleasure as I fed from him. Faint whimpers leaking out from beneath my fangs, soft and sweet. The hunger finally sated. Slowly his body grew limp in my arms, lightly trembling, chest rising and falling unevenly. I pulled back, licking my lips. Almost gotten carried away and drank too much. It was so hard to help myself. The young man was still slumped in my arms, peacefully unconscious. I could still feel his heart beating, and his skin didn't look too pale. He'd wake up before long, or so I hoped. I couldn't waste any more time. I needed to head toward the garage to catch the meeting on time, so I decided to... Oh boy. I decided to go back and see if this could be... Oh. Couldn't. I was human, not an animal. How could I just sink my fangs into someone, a living being, like prey? So I tried to tell myself, yep, growing. Just a little bit. I won't be doing anything cruel, just one small taste. It's turned into a... But thou must. Yeah. You're drinking. Alright. I already saved here, right? Yes, I did. Let's carry him somewhere safe. This was LA at night, and leaving an unconscious guy lying in the alley was probably only a step away from manslaughter. Funny how this boy was more in danger from his fellow man than from a monster like me. Grabbing him under his arms, I dragged his ragdolled body through the shadows, searching the nearby buildings for a safe place to leave him. It was long before I found an old dentist's office, long since abandoned. Kicked open the door and set the man down inside the dark, dusty waiting room, tossing the rug on top of him for a blanket. Better than nothing, right? Last with a somewhat lightened conscience, I hurried back to the street. Hopefully we aren't late. As I rushed toward the parking garage, savoring the last tastes of blood on my tongue, I couldn't stop thinking about what just happened. This was what it meant to be a vampire. An urban, unholy apex predator. A parasite living off someone else's life. Literally taking their blood. There really was no going back. hopefully we get to this meeting on time. July Company Parking Garage, closing October 8th. How many Octobers ago, I wondered? Judging from the litter and crime all around the place, probably quite a few had passed. Well, it didn't matter. This was the place. A bored-looking thug stood by the entrance, obviously stationed as a guard. My first trial, by the looks of it. Oh boy, trial time. Putting on a confident expression, I strode up to him, clearing my throat. Place is closed. Go dick around somewhere else. He barked a few short words out at me before I could even open my mouth. He's coming. Who's coming? I got to know. He's coming. What? What are you talking about? Who's coming? What? Big Daddy-O, you're really freaking me out, man. What the hell are you talking about? Shit, I hate your goddamn gold creeps. I wonder if we'll need your corpse. I could use a new body pillow. You don't mean him, right? The gold leader? Nod. Shit. I'm getting out of here. Sorry, Randall. Ain't no way I'm sticking around to see that guy. Fuck, he's not here already, is he? You'd better run. Run? Yeah, I'm running. Ah! Oh, that was easy. That was fantastic. He's coming. With that, he took off at lightning speed, dashing around the corner. Gold Leader? I wonder who he was talking about. Who's so bloody terrifying about him? This man sounded like someone worth meeting, especially if he got that kind of reaction. I hurried into the garage, feeling only slightly sorry for the guard. I was living in an even more brutal world than before. I had a feeling that misplaced mercy would only equal death now. After darting down a few levels of the garage at top speed, I finally arrived. Loud whispers and rowdy laughter made it sound like the meeting hadn't started yet. I was just in time. The two groups standing across from each other were pretty clear-cut. I could easily tell which house was which. One was full of rough types, probably gangsters and pugs in life. Tattoos, leather jackets, piercings, and wild eyes were everywhere. The other group, interestingly enough, looked like the complete opposite. Eccentric outfits, soft murmurs, and a large amount of eerie smiles. Almost instantly, I felt a pull toward them. It was my house, after all. This strange, dark world, the Golgotha seemed to shine brightly. I didn't want to sabotage them. I wanted to learn their secrets and plead for answers. Answers to all the questions that the world was thrusting at me. I wonder if that was shaped because of the big personality questions at the beginning of it. But I didn't have a choice. Internally, I apologized. I'd make it up to them later, somehow, by making peace. Fingered. Alright, let's cut the bullshit and talk conditions. A deep voice suddenly boomed through the garage, making everyone fall silent. Oh, here he is. Moments later, a tall, muscular vampire pushed his way to the front of the Mavar group. The sheer force of his presence made it instantly clear who he was. For a brief second, I thought I saw some sort of circle on his head, shining brightly. Really? But it vanished the next moment. Just an illusion. I only agreed to this meeting because I hate those Iscari bastards more than I hate you. I'm guessing it's mutual. If you want a truce, there better be something to sweeten the deal. I don't think those debtors here will settle for anything less. Yeah! Hell yeah! Don't let them weasel out, Randall! Cheers of approval rang out from the rowdy group behind. Oh, Golgotha emissary. Oh, we wouldn't dream of it. The carrot or the stick. That's always been the best way to deal with beasts. One of the Golgotha vampires stepped forward, his lips cracking into a Cheshire cat gurgling. Snarls and jeeringly wrestled among the Mavar in response. Beasts, huh? Some nice diplomacy you got there. So what are you gonna try to offer? Fortune-telling services? Voodoo magic? You're gonna need something realer than empty promises. Golgotha vampire let out a smoke chuckle, like he had a hidden trump card ready. I didn't like the sound of it. If I was going to crash and burn this meeting, they'd have to do something now before they worked out the deal. Well, I reckon we rush up to Vandal. Whoa! Hey, watch where you're... Pushing through the crowd of Mavar, I bolted up to Vandal as fast as I could. I pulled out his knife and held it in my palm. Oh no. Are we going to accidentally make the deal? I pulled out his knife and held it in my palms, trying not to tremble. Whoa, what the hell are you doing, kid? He glared at me, shocked and suspicious. I realized that if I couldn't convince him that a accusing look might just be the last thing I'd ever see. I have a feeling he's not going to be up for the theatrical bullshit. Oh, let's do this. Knife? I didn't drop any knife. What the? Cutting off mid-sentence, Randall glanced down at the knife in my hands. Then his eyes slid back up to mine, meeting my gaze wordlessly for a few moments. You got this from... One of those crazy guys, who else? He took a deep breath. These motherfuckers, they stole it from me? Holy hell. Excuse me. Mr. Randall, would you care to explain what's going on? The leader of the Golgotha group called over to us, clearly confused. Damn it, I can't deal with this shit right now. Mr. Randall, if you're quite done with this little episode, we'd like to present our turn. Get the fuck out of here! All of you bastards, the meeting's fucking cancelled. Randall's angry command echoed through the garage, loud enough to make a few vampires wince. And you guys, make sure these motherfuckers scurry back to their rat holes. He addressed his own group with a low growl, was met with hurried nods and eager knuckle-cracking. I'll meet you outside in a little while. Go on, get going. Alright, you heard the man. Come on, let's go. Within seconds, the garage turned into a chaotic mess of Golgotha vampires fending off rabid Mavar, pushed and shoved him to the exit. It's easy to tell how much Randall's men were hungry for a fight. The group of Golgotha stayed placid, like they refused to give the Mavar what they wanted. The confusion and shouting went on for a few minutes, but eventually the garage emptied, leaving behind only Randall and I. Man, you have some balls. After a long moment of silence, Randall let out a long, tired sigh, finally turning his attention back to me. That was supposed to be a trick, right? You were trying to turn me against the goals. Not gonna lie, it was a pretty shitty attempt. Even if they did bring my knife as a bargaining chip, there's no way they'd be that careless with it. Let me guess, Queen Bitch sent you, didn't she? Well, not mincing words. Oh, Wow, kid, you're real clever, aren't you? Fucking okay, we will be coy. You mean Sarise? Who the hell else? Fucking Sarise. Figures. She must have known I'd see through this. It's too obvious. What the hell's she aiming for? Skari and their mind games, damn it. Randall growled deep in his throat, fangs bared like a wild animal. His anger didn't seem focused at me, much to my surprise. He was still holding the knives, too, so I considered myself lucky that I wasn't dying right here. Finally he let out a groan, most of the anger on his face fading away. Probably good we didn't bargain with those freaks anyway. They were up to something, just like always. But you, I've never seen your face before. I've seen just about every vampire in L.A. Since you were sent on a suicide mission, does it take a whole lot of detective work to see that you're new? Cannon fodder, kicked out to die. What's your name, anyway? Well, it's Dawn. Dawn, huh? Well, Dawn, way to make a fucking entrance. You didn't sound quite as pissed as I figured he'd be. I should tear you up for pulling that shit on us, but, man, I guess you didn't get much of a choice. Just like Queen Bitch, taking a newbie and throwing him out to the sharks. Well, I guess maybe she's not quite as benevolent as she seemed for giving us a chance at a life in her game, considering that this was an admitted suicide mission. Not a whole lot I can do for you, not with her on high alert. Taking you in right now, well, you'd be too much of a risk. That's just how it is. I gotta look out for me and my house. You're actually quite nice, Randall. His shoulders raised in half the shrug, one hand scratching at the back of his head. He really did sound apologetic, even though he had no reason to be. I think he'd feel pretty fucking against Saruse wants a truce with you, eventually. Would you agree to one? What? Says you're the leader of the Mavar and wants to be allies. Ha! A choked laugh of disbelief erupted from his throat. If you acted like that, just the mention of an alliance, it probably didn't bode well for Sarise. That's the dumbest thing I've heard all month. I just read a magazine ad trying to tell me my dick wasn't... Oh my. Sure, these guys look up to me, but I'm not their leader. They have no leader. That's kind of the fucking point. Told her that 100 goddamn times, too. Hard concept for a dolled-up fascist to grasp, I guess. He muttered his last words spitefully, grinding a stray piece of gravel underneath his boot. Well... Why... I keep saving, thinking that I'm used to not having so many choices. You sure sounded like a leader earlier. Me? I'm just their voice. You know, 50 guys shouting at once. That can get real loud. That one guy speaking for the group, that makes negotiations a lot easier. Even if I'd rather negotiate with my knuckles in that smug fucker's face. He snarled, grinding his fist into his palm, glaring in the direction that Golgotha went off earlier. Christ, I can't believe Queen Bitch thinks I'll work up to her. Every Ascari's out to use or kill you for power. That's always how it goes. They say they're all about beauty and peace and words over fighting, but it's just a fucking scam. Bunch of snakes. Well, you know I'm Golgotha. What do you think of us? Us? Oh, you're one of the... yeah, damn, I should have guessed. He pinched the bridge of his nose with his thumb and forefinger, grimacing. Kid, I got bad news for you. Your house, you got a lot of talents, weird visions, prophetic dreams, seeing into people's hearts the second you meet them, stuff like that. But it's gonna get hard. Real hard. A lot of newbie goals, they can't handle all the new gifts. They don't know how to separate reality from fantasy. Completely insane within a week. So, try and keep it together, okay? I never had it together in the first place. I will, don't worry. It's Randall, damn it. Won't you play that game with me? Oh, Marcus is best guy, confirmed. That's my secret. I never had it together in the first place. Right, good to know. Anyway, if we haven't met Marcus yet, I should hook you up. He's the best goal. Hell, probably the best guy, period. I know around here. If she could phrase things as confusingly as he does. Oh, don't sound so bummed out, newbie. You'll pull off the crazy prophet vibe someday. I got a feeling. Grinning broadly, he flashed me an encouraging wink. Was that supposed to be a compliment? Marcus, man. I used to hate his guts since he was always playing nice with Queen Bitch. Not to mention that slow, preachy way he talks. Then when I shut up and actually listened to what he said, I realized he's got it all figured out. The politics, mind games, everything. Randall paused, shaking his head in bemused awe. He didn't seem like the type of guy who'd respect just anyone, so the fact that he thought so highly of Marcus must have really meant something. That guy could be king of Los Angeles if he wanted to. Hell, probably the whole world. But instead, he just hangs out in his porn store and sells giant rubber dicks. Oh, really makes you think, doesn't it? He clutched his stomach, doubling over as if he just cracked the best joke of the century. Kiss of death, the sound of death. What about the Mavar? Kind of a fancy way of putting it, but sure. Hey, that's the trademark of the Golgotha, right? Putting things way too fancy. Not a whole lot to say about us, really. Mavar don't complicate shit. We hate rules, and we hate rulers even more. Vampires should be able to do whatever the hell they want. No killing innocent humans, no revealing your nature in public. Aside from that, we like to live our unlives as we damn well please. Usually on the wilder side. Got a problem with another vampire? Fight it out. No backstabbing, no politics, just blood. We're beasts after all. Mavar don't hide from that. We embrace it. Interesting. Dangerous, but interesting. No more dangerous than Iskari scheming our Golgotha mind games. We don't dance around that shit. And that's just how it should be. If you slap rules onto a world as dangerous as ours, you're gonna have a problem. Trying to make crazy powerful creatures all play nice with each other is a recipe for a fucking disaster. Lying, murder, theft. It's a piece of cake for us. Ah, whatever. You'll understand one day. With a wry smile, Randall reaches out to clamp a large hand on my shoulder, squeezing it roughly. Alright, kid. It's been fun. We need to go make sure the others aren't running down goals in the streets or anything else too crazy. I'm usually at the beach with my crew. If you ever decide to hop on the winning team... He trailed off and clicked his tongue playfully, winking at me. Thanks, Randall. Nah, no need to thank me. You're alright. We're all dubious ones. I do my best to remember that. Randall's actually a pretty cool dude. And with that, we parted ways. I left the parking garage with a slightly clearer picture of the world I'd been tossed into thanks to Randall. Luckily, the guard at the entrance was gone, so I avoided any awkward encounters. Maybe he wouldn't hold any hard feelings. That whole mess had worked out somehow. Although I had to wonder how much was just beginner's luck, since most of it seemed too convenient to be true. I arrived at the hotel with an overwhelming sense of relief, making my way back to the meeting room from last night. Oh, as it turns out, Cerisi and Heath were already waiting for me. Welcome back, Don. We heard about that little mess you caused in the parking garage. Word travels fast. Heath's airy voice rang with pride, and he offered me a sly smile. Yes, you've done quite an impressive job. Your performance certainly surpassed my expectations. You didn't die. Unfortunately, Cerisi didn't match Heath's spot, but she did offer me a sharp nod. Yeah, but... Ahem. Oh? Before we go any further, let me clear the air. I knew Randall would see through that knife deception. However, you accomplished a twofold task, perhaps without realizing it. You disrupted their truth discussions, at least for now. You also made yourself known by name to Randall, who was a significantly powerful vampire. The smug lilt in her tone. I could tell Savise was pretty pleased with the outcome of events. That's nice. Does that mean my instincts were right? None of what happened back there was an accident? With the Golgotha fleeing quietly? As I mentioned earlier, your naivety is assumed by everyone you meet. Even secretive, insular vampires will open to you, merely because they want to win you to their cause. You should use this to your advantage while you still can. Ingratiate yourself with those you believe you have no allegiances. Aren't you just trying to win me? No. I expect your loyalty, and not unfairly. Do not forgive my clemency in sparing your life. A less charitable leader would have destroyed all evidence of her mistake right then and there. Fortunately for you, I believe there is much more potential in your future beyond being an eraser's smudge on this page in LA's history. She sniffed pointedly, nudging her glasses back up her nose. That matter aside, I have another task for you. It entails less conflict, but is of equal importance. I'm listening. One of my contacts in South LA recently disappeared. I need to know why, but I can't spare any of my other associates to go find her. Things are very busy, you see. I expect this disappearance is sabotaged by an irksome rival of mine, but I'd like to confirm the situation. Go to the area, track her down, and report back. Not too complicated, is it? Alright, understood. Excellent. I have faith you'll carry out that promise. My calm response seemed to please Savise, who peered at me contently from over her glasses. Very well. One final thing, Dom, before you go. What is it? I suggest you partner yourself with, or at least try to learn from, an older vampire. For example, Heath here is charming, diplomatic, and also very attuned to his humanity. A little overly idealistic, perhaps, but we Ascari like to strive for perfection. When Savise mentioned his name, Heath perked up, his eyes sparkling mischievously. Are you trying to woo me, Miss Locke? Nothing of the sort, I assure you. She mercilessly replied to Heath without missing a beat. Moving along. Marcus, too, possesses remarkable insight and knowledge, but as a Golgotha, he is also particularly eccentric, and his loyalties are unpredictable. Take everything he says with a grain of salt. And this may come as a surprise. If you decide to seek out Randall as a mentor, I won't stop you. I acknowledge his strength, as well as his charisma and experience. He's actually a pretty swell dude. However, do not let yourself be swayed by his anarchistic beliefs. The current war is proof of what happens when vampires eschew leadership, chaos, paranoia, and bloodshed. Thanks for the advice. I'll choose carefully. So you should. The decision may be the most important one you'll ever make. Heath and I will be staying here to discuss affairs, but I'll expect your report in the next few days, son. She lifted an elegant hand, pointedly gesturing toward the door. Heath looked disappointed, flashing me an apologetic grimace when Savise wasn't looking, but he seemed stuck there for a moment. He took the hint and left, heading toward the elevator. Part of me wondered what affairs they were talking about, but eavesdropping probably wasn't worth the risk. My room welcomed me back with all its pristine, glamorous, depressing shine. But as relieved and happy as I was to complete my trial, I felt incredibly restless and isolated. Lifting the curtains with one hand, I gazed out the window, absorbing the vibrant cityscape below me. Yesterday it all felt like a dream. Today, reality was finally setting in. I was a vampire, chained to eternity, trapped behind glass, separated from the Hollywood life I dreamed of, so close and forever unreachable. Like the cityscape, that dream would always glitter in the distance, a reminder of what I'd lost. It was dead, just as much as I was. Maybe I really did need a mentor to help me through this. Rules, etiquette, and powers, I could figure those out by myself, given enough time. But that wasn't what I needed most. I needed a new purpose, as my old one was shattered. The three men Cerise mentioned seemed to know what they were doing, if nothing else. There was a good chance that one of them could help me figure out my place in the world. With that, I made up my mind. Tomorrow I'll go and see... Oh. This seems like... this is the choice. I don't know if this is the end of the demo, but... I'm gonna say Marcus. Something strange drew me to Marcus. I feel like everything he said had a double meaning. And of course, he had the same gifts that I had. Marcus seems like a good first choice. Randall is objectively best vampire. Heath is interesting, but a little too clingy and drawn to me. The whole bunch of conversations were nice there, the whole flirting with him and all that, but it just seemed too out of the blue to be that close to Heath. I teamed up with Marcus, and at the very least I knew things would never get boring, and I could practice my southern drawl. Then it was settled. Tomorrow I'd take a break from running Cerise's errands and go find Marcus instead. The thought was only a small comfort in the hell I'd been thrown into, and I clung on to it as hard as I could. A little excitement sparkled through me as I shut the curtains, curling onto my bed to hide from the coming daylight. If this is what fate had in store for me, then so be it. I would fight and struggle to stay afloat in this world where I've been thrown into, and no matter what, I wouldn't give up. Even if it meant I would never see another sunrise again. Is this the end? That's the end of the demo. I had a feeling that was it. That was more fun than I don't know what I was expecting, but I enjoyed that more than I expected. Legitimately. It's the art style and all the backgrounds really sets the mood that they're going for here. It's just really enjoyable. Art style and the music together, I like it. On point. And I'm very curious to know how all the choices at the beginning with why we came to Hollywood, what we expected to get out of Hollywood, why we were really there, all that stuff. I'm curious to know if that shapes anything in the dialogue or in the game going further, beyond just our own internal thoughts and opinions of the situations going on around us. It would also be interesting if that sort of shaped our vampire house alignment, if it drew us toward Randall or Heath or Marcus, one of our three enjoyable vampire friends. And it's interesting, the prospects of getting involved in the war between the houses. how we're going to broker peace, if we can broker peace. Is there going to be a path to peace? Is there going to be individual endings based on which of the 3 vampires from the 3 houses that we partner with? What's gonna happen here? I don't know if I'll play the full release, but when it comes out, but I did really enjoy this. Like I said, it's really outside of my usual purview as far as visual novels and just games in general. The blatant dating aspect with different routes for different sexy fellows, but the story is it's an intriguing story, and I am intrigued by our 3 Tommy Wiseau with the southern drawl, who's really, I say after all the Tommy Wiseau with the southern drawl, it's really interesting what Marcus might know about the world, everything going on in it. It's really intriguing. And Randall, the way they built him up in that first mission, and then Randall's a really good dude. He seems like a really chill dude. And I really like Randall. Yeah, it's Randall and Marcus are the best. Heath is up there still, but there's room to learn more about Heath and the Iscari. I don't know why when they were describing the families and their specialties. I don't know why the description of the 3 families made me think of Eternal Darkness and the 3 gods. Ulyaoth, Chaturga, and Zelatoth. Ulyaoth, the great intelligence, Chaturga, the great brute strength, force of mind, and Zelatoth, their great visions and illusions and utter insanity. I feel like they've really fits in with our 3 families. Iscari, Mavar, and Glagotha. I doubt that was intentional, but that's just a really interesting coincidence. And sitting here on the title screen here, I get what they're going for. The old backstage, the hum of the lights. I don't know, just my personal opinion. I feel like it could use a little bit of music. But that's just me. And who knows, is there a secret 4th Mantarok in the shadows, guiding the 3 families to war? I don't know, I'm just following my Eternal Darkness metaphor. But that will be the end of the demo of Red Embrace Hollywood. Just want to thank Argent Games for even seeking me out and offering me the demo to begin with. It's like I said at the beginning, in my usual fumbly-bumbly way, the game was on Kickstarter. It did reach its funding goal, but I will still link to the Kickstarter in this video description. So, if you're interested in this, through this video, you can follow the Kickstarter, follow their Tumblr. There's a Tumblr link on there. There's Twitter feeds for the creator. There was another one I remember seeing. There's definitely ways for you to keep in touch with Argent Games if you enjoyed this. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I might get the finished product, honestly. I enjoyed this more than I expected. Going on a good 2 hours. Until next time, until then.